Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack's voice was so unforgettable that millions of people could recognize it within seconds. But few fans know that after the legendary radio star passed away, he was laid to rest far away from the bright lights of Hollywood in a quiet family cemetery in North Carolina. Even today, many visitors make the journey just to pay their respects to the man whose voice changed radio forever. Known for his famous gravelly voice, energetic personality, and signature wolf howl, Wolfman Jack became one of the most recognizable radio personalities in American history. During the 1960s and 1970s, his late-night broadcasts reached millions of listeners across North America. His appearance in American Graffiti made him even more famous, turning him into a true pop culture icon. Despite his larger-than-life image, those closest to him often described him as warm, humble, and deeply devoted to his family. While his voice entertained millions, he preferred a much quieter life away from the spotlight whenever the microphones were turned off. On July 1st, 1995, Wolfman Jack suddenly passed away from a heart attack at the age of 57, only hours after finishing one of his radio broadcasts. His death shocked fans across the country, as the legendary voice that had filled the airwaves for decades was gone without warning. Following his passing, Wolfman Jack was buried at the Smith Family Estate Cemetery in North Carolina. Unlike many celebrities whose graves are found in famous Hollywood cemeteries, his final resting place remains peaceful and private. Surrounded by nature and away from the crowds, the cemetery reflects the quieter side of the man behind the legendary voice. Although his grave is not one of the most visited celebrity burial sites, dedicated fans still travel there to honor his remarkable career. Many believe the simple setting is exactly what Wolfman Jack would have wanted, a place where he could finally rest in peace after spending a lifetime entertaining millions. Today, his unforgettable voice continues to live on through classic radio recordings, documentaries, and the timeless film American Graffiti. His influence can still be heard in generations of radio hosts who followed in his footsteps. While the microphone eventually fell silent, the legend of Wolfman Jack never truly faded. Wolfman Jack was born on January 21st, 1938, in Brooklyn, New York, and passed away on July 1st, 1995. At the age of 57, Andy Griffith. When Andy Griffith passed away, his family made a decision that surprised many fans. Instead of holding a large public funeral, they buried the beloved television star just a few hours after his death in a private ceremony on his own family estate in North Carolina. There were no cameras, no public memorial, and no crowds, only close family saying goodbye to the man who had spent more than 50 years making millions of people smile. Andy Griffith became one of America's most beloved television actors through The Andy Griffith Show, where his role as Sheriff Andy Taylor turned him into a household name. His calm personality, warm sense of humor, and timeless performances made the series one of the most successful sitcoms in television history. Years later, he found a new generation of fans as attorney Ben Matlock in the hit legal drama Matlock, proving that his talent never faded. Although he enjoyed enormous success, Griffith always remained deeply connected to his North Carolina roots. He preferred a quiet life away from Hollywood and spent much of his later years living on Roanoke Island, where he enjoyed the peace and privacy that fame rarely allowed him. On July 3, 2012, Andy Griffith passed away after suffering a heart attack at the age of 86. His death saddened millions of fans around the world, but what happened afterward caught many by surprise. Within hours, his family carried out his final wishes by holding a private burial at the Griffith family estate on Roanoke Island. The quick ceremony helped protect his family's privacy and prevented the property from being overwhelmed by large crowds of mourners. Because his grave is located on private land, it is not open to the public. Unlike many Hollywood legends whose graves attract thousands of visitors each year, Andy Griffith's final resting place remains peaceful and hidden from public view. Even so, fans continue to honor his memory by visiting the nearby town of Montejo and the places connected to his remarkable life and career. More than a decade after his passing, Andy Griffith's legacy continues to live on through reruns that are still watched by millions. His kindness, humility, and unforgettable performances have made him one of television's most enduring icons. While his grave remains private, the memories he created continue to bring comfort and joy to audiences around the world. Andy Griffith was born on June 1, 1926, in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and passed away on July 3, 2012. At the age of 86, when Billy Graham passed away, the world didn't just lose one of the most influential preachers in history, it also marked the end of a remarkable journey that had inspired millions of people across generations. Fittingly, the man who spent his entire life preaching humility was laid to rest in one of the simplest graves imaginable. Exactly as he had wanted. For more than 6 decades, Billy Graham became one of the most recognized religious leaders in the world. His powerful sermons reached millions through stadium events, television broadcasts, and international crusades. He served as a spiritual advisor to U.S. presidents, met with world leaders, and shared his message in more than 180 countries, making him one of the most influential Christian evangelists of the 20th century. Despite his worldwide fame, Graham never lived like a celebrity. He often spoke about faith, family, and living a humble life, believing that his message was always more important than personal recognition. That same humility was reflected in the way he planned his final resting place. On February 21, 2018, Billy Graham passed away peacefully at his home in North Carolina at the age of 99. Tributes poured in from around the world as political leaders, religious figures, and millions of followers remembered the extraordinary impact he had made throughout his lifetime. His passing marked the end of an era for countless people who had listened to his sermons for decades. Following his funeral, Billy Graham was buried on the grounds of the Billy Graham Library in Charlotte, North Carolina. His grave is simple, marked by a modest memorial made from hand-cut stone, reflecting the humble life he always tried to live. Nearby rests his wife, Ruth Graham, fulfilling their wish to remain together even after death. Today, thousands of visitors stop at the Billy Graham Library every year, and many quietly walk to his gravesite to pay their respects. Unlike many celebrity graves that are remembered for their size or grandeur, Billy Graham's final resting place is admired for its simplicity. It stands as a reminder that, despite becoming one of the most famous religious figures in history, he wanted to be remembered not for wealth or fame, but for his faith and the message he spent a lifetime sharing. Billy Graham was born on November 7, 1918, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and passed away on February 21, 2018, at the age of 99. When Ava Gardner passed away, Hollywood said goodbye to one of the last true legends of its golden age. Famous for her breathtaking beauty and unforgettable screen presence, she spent decades captivating audiences around the world. But after a lifetime in the spotlight, her final wish was far more personal. Instead of remaining in Hollywood, she was brought home to North Carolina, where her story had first begun. Ava Gardner rose to fame during the 1940s and quickly became one of MGM's biggest stars. She appeared in classic films including The Killers, Showboat, Mogambo, and The Barefoot Contessa, earning an Academy Award nomination and becoming one of the most admired actresses of her generation. Off-screen, her marriages to Mickey Rooney, Artie Shaw, and Frank Sinatra kept her name in headlines almost as much as her movies. Although she spent most of her career in Hollywood and later lived in Europe, Gardner never forgot her small hometown of Smithfield, North Carolina. She often spoke about her childhood and remained proud of the place where she was raised. As her health declined in her later years, returning home became increasingly important to her family. On January 25, 1990, Ava Gardner passed away from pneumonia at the age of 67. Fans across the world mourned the loss of one of classic Hollywood's most glamorous stars. Tributes celebrated not only her beauty, but also her remarkable talent and unforgettable performances that continue to inspire generations of actors. Following her death, Ava Gardner was buried at Sunset Memorial Park in Smithfield, North Carolina, just a short distance from the home where she grew up. Her gravesite has since become one of the state's most visited celebrity memorials. Fans from around the world leave flowers, handwritten notes, and small tokens of appreciation, remembering the actress whose timeless films continue to entertain audiences decades after her passing. Today, Ava Gardner's legacy lives on through the golden age of Hollywood. Her films remain classics, and her grave serves as a reminder that no matter how far success took her, she ultimately returned to the place she always considered home. Ava Gardner was born on December 24, 1922, in Grabtown, North Carolina, and passed away on January 25, 1990, at the age of 67. When Enos Slaughter passed away, baseball lost one of the last remaining stars from one of the sport's greatest generations. Best remembered for his fearless style of play and the legendary mad dash that helped change World Series history, he spent his life earning the respect of teammates, opponents, and fans alike. Today, his quiet gravesite in North Carolina honors a player whose name will forever be remembered in baseball history. Nicknamed Country Slaughter because of his rural upbringing, Enos Slaughter built an incredible career with the St. Louis Cardinals. Known for his determination and relentless hustle, he became a key part of multiple championship teams and was selected to numerous All-Star games. His most famous moment came during the 1946 World Series when his aggressive sprint from first base to home plate on a single became known as the Mad Dash, one of the most iconic plays in Major League Baseball history. After retiring from the game, Slaughter remained closely connected to baseball for many years. He attended special events, shared stories from his remarkable career, and was admired by younger generations who viewed him as one of the game's true gentlemen. In 1985, his outstanding career was recognized with induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame, cementing his place among the sport's all-time greats. On August 12, 2002, Enos Slaughter passed away at the age of 86. Tributes came from across the baseball world as former players, teams, and fans remembered not only his achievements on the field, but also the passion and dedication he brought to every game he played. Following his passing, Enos Slaughter was buried at Allensville United Methodist Church Cemetery in North Carolina. His final resting place is simple and peaceful, reflecting the humble personality he carried throughout his life. Although it isn't one of baseball's most famous memorial sites, devoted fans still visit to pay tribute to a Hall of Famer whose hustle and determination inspired generations of players. Today, Enos Slaughter's legacy lives on every time baseball fans remember the unforgettable Mad Dash. His career serves as a reminder that effort, courage, and determination can leave a lasting mark on the game. While his playing days ended long ago, his place in baseball history remains secure. Enos Slaughter was born on April 27, 1916, in Roxborough, North Carolina, and passed away on August 12, 2002. At the age of 86, when Sidney Blackmer passed away, Hollywood quietly said goodbye to an actor whose career had spanned both Broadway and the golden age of film. While many people remember him for playing respected leaders and powerful men on screen, younger audiences would later recognize him from one of the most famous horror films ever made. Today, his grave in North Carolina stands as a tribute to a performer whose career lasted more than 4 decades. Sidney Blackmer built his reputation as one of Hollywood's most dependable character actors. Throughout his career, he appeared in dozens of films and stage productions, becoming especially well known for portraying President Theodore Roosevelt, a role he played several times. Later in life, he introduced himself to a new generation of movie fans with his memorable performance in the classic horror film Rosemary's Baby, proving that his talent never faded with time. Unlike many stars who constantly chased the spotlight, Blackmer focused on his craft. Directors admired his professionalism, while audiences appreciated the quiet confidence he brought to every role. Whether appearing on Broadway or in Hollywood productions, he earned a reputation as an actor who could make every performance feel believable. On October 6, 1973, Sidney Blackmer passed away at the age of 76 after battling cancer. Although his death did not receive the same attention as many larger Hollywood stars, those who worked alongside him remembered him as one of the industry's finest character actors. His performances continued to live on through the classic films that introduced his work to future generations. Following his passing, Sidney Blackmer was laid to rest at Chestnut Hill Cemetery in Salisbury, North Carolina. His gravesite remains peaceful and modest, reflecting the quiet dignity that defined much of his life and career. While it is not a major tourist destination, classic film enthusiasts occasionally visit to pay their respects to a man whose contributions to Hollywood are still appreciated today. More than 50 years after his passing, Sidney Blackmer's performances continue to be discovered by fans of classic cinema. From historical dramas to unforgettable suspense films, his work remains an important part of Hollywood history. His grave serves as a reminder that not every legend was the biggest star on the poster. Some earned their place through talent, consistency, and a lifetime dedicated to acting. Sidney Blackmer was born on July 13, 1895, in Salisbury, North Carolina, and passed away on October 6, 1973, at the age of 76. Crash Holly. When Crash Holly passed away, the wrestling world lost one of its most fearless entertainers. Despite standing much smaller than many of his opponents, he built a reputation for taking unbelievable risks inside the ring and winning over fans with his determination. Years after his final match, his grave in North Carolina continues to remind visitors of a wrestler who proved that heart could be just as important as size. Born Michael Lockwood, Crash Holly became a fan favorite during WWE's Attitude Era. He was best known for his unforgettable hardcore championship matches, where anything could happen and every fight seemed more unpredictable than the last. Whether he was battling backstage in parking lots or in the middle of unexpected locations, Crash Holly's willingness to put his body on the line made him one of the most entertaining competitors of his generation. Although he was often presented as an underdog, his energy and charisma quickly earned the respect of both fans and fellow wrestlers. Behind the scenes, he was known as a hard-working performer who loved professional wrestling and always gave everything he had every time he stepped into the ring. On November 6, 2003, Crash Holly tragically passed away at the age of 32. His sudden death shocked the wrestling community, and tributes poured in from friends, colleagues, and fans who remembered not only his unforgettable matches, but also his kind personality outside the ring. Many believed his career still had so much more to offer. Following his passing, Crash Holly was laid to rest at West Lawn Memorial Park in China Grove, North Carolina. His gravesite has become a place where wrestling fans occasionally stop to pay their respects, leaving flowers, wrestling memorabilia, and personal messages in memory of the performer who brought so much excitement to WWE during one of its most popular eras. Today, Crash Holly is still remembered as one of the greatest hardcore champions in WWE history. His matches continue to entertain wrestling fans around the world, and his fearless style remains part of his lasting legacy. Though his career was cut tragically short, the memories he created inside the ring continue to live on. Crash Holly was born on August 25, 1971, in Anaheim, California, and passed away on November 6, 2003, at the age of 32.